How's everybody doing today?
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm super excited to find out about Phonak. I have so many questions, honestly. I know I've started playing with the products, but I want to hear from you guys about what the latest is, because I've been a huge fan of Phonak for years. What do we call it? Am I a Phonak fan?
You are a Phonak fan. We spell fan with a PH. You're both, first of all. You are certainly both. And I hear there's going to be some people here today who are experiencing Paradise hearing aids. So we're really excited to hear from them as well.
For sure.
Dr. Heiman, may I just say I love the sign over your shoulder, the We Save Marriages sign.
Oh, I love
That's one of the most. It's one of the most important parts about the job that we don't talk about enough.
They definitely don't teach us that in school, but you do find out that you end up doing that quite a bit.
Yeah. It's funny how, and not so funny how hearing loss affects the whole family.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And if one person is struggling, you get the conflict and stress. So for anybody who's on right now, welcome. I want you to know that on your right-hand side, we can't see you, first of all, and we can't hear you. So go ahead and eat your lunch, do whatever. On the right-hand side, there's a chat box on the bottom. And if you have any questions at any time, and you don't want to forget your question, go ahead and type it in so that at the end, we're actually going to address your questions. We're going to try to answer them. So at any time, type in. Right now, if you want to type in where you're from, where in the world are you? I know that there are people that might even be from Florida that are logging in today. So possibly someone from Arizona who, is from here, but that's where they're in the world right now. Neat part about being online and virtual is that you don't actually physically have to be there. The replay, by the way, will be closed captioned. So if anyone's struggling to hear right now, we're going to leave our cameras on so you can see our faces, but the replay will have the closed captioning. So you'll be able to watch this. I'll be sending you the replay once this is finished. It takes about a day or so for the closed captioning to set up. Oh, that was nice, Dr. Hoysick. Hello, Cindy. How are you?
Hey, Cindy, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this is going to be so fun. We had fun last week. We're hoping to have even more fun this week, especially if it's in the middle of the day on a Tuesday. It's actually kind of nice out, but with COVID, a lot of times it's just not safe to go someplace without a mask. So it's nice that you guys were able to jump on here and that our patients are safe at home and they can watch all this, which is so good.
Dr. Heiman, I think another nice thing about this is it kind of showcases your office's ability to do remote support and telecare and just how you can virtually work with patients now, which is a really exciting step.
Mm-hmm.
It is an exciting step. The hard part, though, is sometimes the licensing laws in different states. However, I do know I have a patient who has a home in Colorado, and sky's the limit in Colorado. They have no regulation. They laugh about it. Like their Colorado Academy of Audiology, they're like, we have no rules. So I can do remote care to Colorado because I don't necessarily have to be licensed there. But yes, with COVID, and they're saying if we have a second or a third wave and people are at home and they need an adjustment, we're going to discuss this later, but I would be able to remote log in and make adjustments to your hearing aids from the office. Or if I can't come into the office because it's a snowstorm, I mean, technically I could do it from my home. You know, technology is so cool.
It's amazing technology being able to connect to the world the way we can now.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So fun.
I'm hopeful everyone's eating lunch out there and enjoying their Tuesday afternoon.
Okay, no pressure, but my mother-in-law, Kathy, is on right now.
Oh no.
Wow. Okay. Straighten up a bit.
It's good stuff. Now the pressure has been increased.
I know.
Oh, yeah. No pressure. No, it's
taller.
going to be super fun. Then we have Cindy, Aaron. Oh, hey, Frank. Jerry. Hi, Jerry.
This is so great. We really appreciate all of you joining us today.
Marilyn. Type in what you guys are having for lunch so we know that the chat is actually working.
And you can make us jealous. Make us jealous of what you're eating, something good.
Exactly.
Last week, someone had Portillo's. He ran out and got Portillo's before he began. And that just made the rest of us sad. We're jealous.
Believe it or not, I'm an Ohio girl, so lunch is over here. It's almost 1 o'clock for me. Oh. And the weather here is pretty nice, actually. It's really sunny right now, but it's very deceiving because it's pretty chilly. It's pretty out.
Lindsay just said a super yummy Bartlett pear, a mixed nut butter, an English muffin, and coffee. Good for you. That sounds great.
That sounds good.
Know, right? She actually went to school to be like a master baker. So Lindsay's a cake boss. If you need anything made into a crazy cake with fondant and am I saying that right?
Yeah.
She's the person. She's amazing. And she is a gem here at the office. So she's your go-to person. If anyone's answering the phones and helping you schedule your appointments, Lindsay's amazing.
I know every time I call, it's just great to have that smiling voice on the other end and someone so helpful. Right. She's always been so great. But now, Lindsay, I'm going to be hitting you up for cakes too. So get your pricing ready.
You have to pay her for it though. It's not free.
Fine. I understand. Get your pricing ready. We're going to reach out. That's really good to know.
Yeah. Super good. Yeah. She's such an asset. Hi, Rob. How are you? Margaret, nice to see you. So great. We're going to be starting in a minute. So I am going to introduce to you Dr. Denise Hoysak.
You got it.
And Jim Flanagan. They're both representing a company named Phonak. So there's like 6 major companies in the world that make hearing aids. And Phonak has been known as the world leader for a long time, even in pediatrics, the durability, the connectivity, and all of that. So I'm super excited that they agreed to come on and teach you guys about what the latest is in the world of hearing and what's been going on in the research and development to help people hear better. So what I'm going to do is start our presentation, if that's okay. Hi, Pat. And I am going to mute a couple microphones. And we're going to say goodbye to Jim and Dr. Hoysak, okay? And I'm going to just get started just to review with you what you all know. I know all of you, and you've been to the office. And I just want you to know that hearing aids are a small part of what we're about. Like, our mission in our office is definitely to make certain that you hear your best. And so this webinar is to just allow you to see an insider's view into what's really cool with the technology. So I want you to shut off distractions, definitely eat your lunch, but try to stay with us to the end because there's so many cool things that they're going to be revealing. But in our office, I want you to know, and I'm sure I hope you've lived it, that we really want to make sure that you as the patient feel heard. We want to make sure that you're taken through this journey and process of hearing better in a caring manner. We want you to know that we treat you like family, if you are a family or not. But the biggest thing is reducing your overwhelm. We know that making that first appointment is really hard. And we want you to know that this is a safe place. So the first time that you schedule an appointment, you're probably linking with Lindsay. And we really believe that scheduling enough time for you is the key. And making certain that your appointment is at a time that works well for you, works well for us, and that you have enough time to be heard. We're really listening and teaching you about your ears, what your struggles are, and then making certain that we're using best practices to follow a long-term process of involving you in your hearing and rehabilitating your ears. All of this is beyond just the product. As you know, anyone could go to a store and buy something. Like, let's say I say, I'm going to have a spa day. So I'm going to go to Walgreens and I'm going to buy all these, I think this lotion's good, and oh, there's a coupon for that foot scrub, and oh, I think I want my nails done, and I buy all this stuff, and I go home and I try to have a spa day. And I'm going to make sure they use my coupons and I save a lot of money, but will I have the same outcomes as if I make an appointment at a spa and I tell them, this is what I would like to have as my end result. I want to relax and I want someone to give me a massage and I'd like my nails done and all of this. You're going to pay for those services, but you're going to be pretty much guaranteed a nice outcome as opposed to just buying something off of a store shelf at Walgreens, right? So we're more like the spa. What we're going to do is make certain that we use best practices. We're going to make certain that we measure what the sounds are in your ears. We also have a guide, you know, you've got your homework, right? And so that guide is given to you to make certain that you understand what to do tomorrow morning, what your homework is. This is a long-term rehab process. And a lot of you know, and if you haven't yet, I built an oral rehab program that audiologists all over the country are now using. And it's an online program that I can sign you up for where you have homework, it's video tutorials, and it's listening exercises for you. And all my patients have access to it. If you haven't, talk to me, okay? Again, follow-up is key. And in our office, we feel like integrity is everything. We could cut corners and we could do whatever we feel like should be done in that moment just to get you out the door, or we can use best practices and really care about what your results are in the long term. So without further ado, I would like to introduce again Dr. Denise Phonak, and I'm going to bring her in and I'm going to turn on her microphone.
Able to hear me?
There she is. Hello. And I'm going to turn over the presentation to her because what she's going to do is teach us about what is super cool and what has been going on at Phonak and what the patients are enjoying with this brand new product.
Thank you. Oh.
So I'm going to say goodbye.
Hi. Thank you all so much for having me. It's exciting when I get to do community seminars like this and get to work with somebody as great as Dr. Heiman is. She does a wonderful job keeping you all up to date on what's going on with new technology as she's using it herself. So let's talk about the Phonak hearing aids, okay? All right. We know that you guys all have your own unique needs when it comes to hearing aids. And Phonak has a portfolio that is so large that we are able to meet the needs right where you are, right where you're trying to enhance your hearing. Maybe you have pediatrics in your life, so maybe you're the parent of a child who needs hearing aids. We've got something for you. You can look at all of the little icons we have here, rechargeability, the automatic settings of our hearing aids, the fact that we have some invisible options for you as well. Sort of pick out from that list there what's important to you, and just know that Phonak is going to have a product that's going to be able to meet your needs. When you guys are all coming in talking to your audiologist about what you're looking for, we hear oftentimes the same things over and over. People want to have a natural sound experience. We want to hear like we used to hear. We don't want things to sound like they're coming through a microphone or being unnaturally amplified. Phonak's products are going to be able to allow you to have that natural, crisp sound quality that you're looking for. We also know that we're looking for more connectivity with our devices. People who have active lifestyles, their environments are constantly changing around them, and we need hearing aids to be able to accommodate to that. Phonak has that for you. And this includes those really challenging environments where the going gets tough, where it's hard for you to hear. You need to have a reliable device that is going to be able to pull those voices in and drown out that background noise that becomes distracting and what's making it difficult for you to hear. And I already alluded to discrete cosmetic options. We have hearing aids that fit deep down into the ear canal where you can't see them at all. And we offer other styles as well to give you many different options for that. And then of course we have personalization. Each of you have different needs, and we have accessories to help for those needs. We have an app that you can customize your hearing aids with, and we're going to kind of get into all of that today. So there's nothing like the sound of Paradise. I absolutely loved it when Phonak released the name of this Paradise product, because it starts to bring in these thoughts and ideas of what Paradise might sound to you. And it can probably be something different for each of you. This was meant to be a really nice video that lets you listen to different sounds, but unfortunately in the format that we're using today, we can't show you this video. But what this video brought to mind for me is in the practice that I used to work at. It was a neuro-otology practice in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I worked there for 15 years. I saw the worst of the worst hearing losses throughout my career. And for me, providing my patients with better sound quality meant, and I truly mean this, I was putting Phonak hearing aids on my patients. And the really cool thing is after falling in love with the product, then I got to become a team member for Phonak, and it was the best of both worlds. So now I get to introduce the product to other audiologists and members of the community like yourself. But one time our office got together and we presented our physicians with a Christmas gift. And that Christmas gift was a book. And each page of that book was a different sound. It was the leaves from fall crunching underneath your feet. It was the purr of a cat. It was the way it sounds when it rains. It was a baby's cry from another room. And this book was gorgeous. It was 80 pages. And when I looked at this video about the sounds of Paradise, it brought me back to that book. And we presented this to the doctors and the audiologists because what they were doing was so important. It's important for us to be connected to our environment, to have that memory of what those sounds were like and to get those again. We have very strong connections in the brain when it comes to hearing and memories. And so with Paradise hearing aids and Phonak products, we're going to be able to bring that back to you. And we're very proud at what we've achieved with this new product. So with Paradise, we have these 3 key innovations that we want to discuss. This is the new technology with this hearing aid. We've got unrivaled sound quality. And within this unrivaled sound quality, we have a new processing chip. And at Phonak, that processing chip is known as the Prism chip. This Prism chip is double the memory of our Marvel product that came out 2 years ago. So this new processing chip is double the memory of what our old system can do. And that means more connectivity for you. That means better sound processing. That means we're able to put more features inside of those hearing aids. And we're also able to make more efficient use of our power. So very good things from that Prism chip. We also are featuring a new motion sensor chip inside of these hearing aids. Motion sensor chip is directly related to a feature that we'll be talking about later called tap control. Tap control is a brilliant way of being able to interact with your hearing aids without having to hunt for a button. The motion sensor is also directly related to giving you better hearing while you're on the move. And again, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but being able to have a discussion with somebody as you're walking without having to turn your head 90 degrees to hear them, but be able to walk seamlessly throughout a crowd and be able to hear is what we were looking for. We have a new processing algorithm. Now, this is way beyond my brain and probably more information that you need, but you know, we've dug into the formula and the algorithms to get you the best hearing possible. And what we were really trying to achieve with this new processing was to mimic the natural way that your ears were intended to hear. And this is how we're able to bring you nice, crisp, natural sound quality, the way your ears were intended to hear with your cochlea. And so our algorithm's able to mimic that quite a bit. We also have the 3 new features that a lot of people really want to hear about, and that's speech enhancer, dynamic noise cancellation, and motion sensor hearing. So let me just kind of tell you what speech enhancer is all about. Speech enhancer was designed to enhance the peaks of speech. And this is soft speech. So if any of you are out there thinking, you know, my wife is one of those soft talkers, or I really struggle hearing my grandchildren, this is what Speech Enhancer was designed to do. It is going to bring those voices into your ears without increasing all of the junk noise around you. When I was practicing, I could think of lots of patients that would have benefited from Speech Enhancer. It's designed to help you hear through a mask. We're all dealing with these masks these days, and it's difficult to hear that clarity of speech through the mask. Speech Enhancer would allow you to hear through that mask. It allows you to hear at a distance. So for me, one of my patients, he was the caretaker in his home, and his wife was very sick. It was imperative that he was able to hear her calling him from another room. That's what Speech Enhancer was designed to do. And again, those soft little voices that you're trying to hear, your grandchildren, the things that just make it easier for you to sit back and relax and enjoy the conversation, Speech Enhancer allows for that to happen. The next feature is dynamic noise cancellation. Dynamic noise cancellation is our new algorithm that analyzes the sound around you, and it's going to reduce the background noise and pull those voices through. Now, in audiology world, we talk a lot about a signal to noise ratio. And to make this a little easy for you, signal to noise ratio is just how much louder is the voice versus the background noise. And in previous generations with hearing aids, we did a fantastic job with that. But we were able to achieve about a -3 signal to noise ratio. And what that means, here's the noise, and the voice was below the noise. So the noise was louder than the voice. And this was in really challenging environments. And believe it or not, that was amazing to be able to achieve that. But with our Paradise products now, we are now able to achieve a +4 signal to noise ratio. And that means the voices are now louder than the background noise. And again, this is in really challenging noise environments. I'm not talking the easy stuff, I'm talking the hard stuff. So that new algorithm is going to get you to hear better in the presence of background noise. And then finally, our motion sensor hearing, which I have already alluded to regarding our chip. We're able to get you to hear while you're in motion, the people beside you. With that motion sensor, when we had our patients come into Phonak's research laboratory, these patients preferred motion sensor hearing on versus off. And what they oftentimes reported to us is that conversation was easier from the side. They were able to localize to where sound was coming from, and that made them feel more safe. And that meant if somebody was walking up behind them, they could recognize that somebody was walking up behind them. If a car was pulling into the parking spot beside them, they could hear that. And they were also connected better with their environment. They didn't feel so closed off. So those are all of the features that we're doing now to give you unrivaled sound quality. And that's just one pillar of the key innovations of Paradise. We also have personalized digital solutions, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, and also universal connectivity. And I know all of you are very excited about how these hearing aids can connect to the devices that are currently in our world today. I know we spent a lot of time on this slide, but I wanted to make sure you understood the unrivaled sound quality and how we achieved that. Okay. Again, crisp, natural sound quality, understanding speech. We don't just want you to hear it, we want you to understand what's coming through. And many times patients will say, I can hear you, but I can't quite understand what you're saying. If that's you, Paradise has the sound quality you're looking for in what we call speech intelligibility. And then we have the personalized noise cancellation with that dynamic noise canceller that we talked about. Personalized digital solutions. We have an app, it's called the MyPhonak app, and this app is going to allow you to make changes to your hearing aids if that's something you're interested in. Now, I know some people are not. They just want to put their hearing aids on and hear like they did, when they were younger, and you can certainly do that. But for others of you where being able to customize your hearing aid is important to you, you'll have that ability. The MyPhonak app, at the push of a button right from your cell phone, you can adjust the volume of your hearing aids. You can make program changes. There's something called environmental balance that we can talk about. And for those of you who really want to dig deep at adjusting some things on your hearing aids, you can do bass and treble adjustments, sort of like an equalizer on a stereo. You can reduce the background noise, and you can also focus speech to where you want it to be. And you can do all of that on your phone and save it. So you're able to go into Starbucks and create some sort of program that you hear better from that program. And then every time you go to Starbucks, you already have that program saved, and you can hear better in that environment. So a lot of customization that can happen if you want it to, and if you don't, that's okay. The hearing aids work automatic, and you don't have to make changes if you don't want to. So the Smart app gives you control of your volume. You can create programs. You can even keep track of your hearing experience. You can let Dr. Heiman know how you're doing in different environments through the app. You can confidently communicate on the phone, and we can address any of your personal hearing needs because of that app. Okay, universal connectivity. When it comes to connectivity, we know that you want to be able to connect to your smartphones and your televisions, and you want that sound to come right from that device directly into your ears. Now with Paradise, you're able to do that without any extra accessories. We know in 2019, there was some research done that said, you know, how many devices does each home typically have? And believe it or not, we have 11 connected devices is the average. I thought that was kind of high until I started to think about my 2 children and my husband and myself. And when you put all of us together, we have all of these Bluetooth devices in our home. And how fantastic would it be to be able to connect to those devices as needed? When we were developing the Paradise product, we wanted to make sure that we were keeping up with the needs of tomorrow. And so with your Paradise products, you are now able to actively connect to 2 Bluetooth devices at once. And with those connections, we have a new way of interacting with those hearing aids, and it's called tap control. So tap control allows you to answer and end your phone calls. You can stop and start streaming music or a movie, and you can also access a voice assistant just by tapping your ear. You don't even have to take your phone out. Leave your phone in your pocket, leave your phone in your purse or on the seat beside you. Phone rings, give your ear a double tap. You don't even have to hit the hearing aid. That's the cool part. Just tap your ear and it will answer the phone for you. Now, this slide here tells you that 60% of adults over the age of 60 have used a voice assistant. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, what is a voice assistant? Or maybe you're sitting there thinking, yep, I use mine every day. If I ask my dad if he uses a voice assistant, he'll think I have 3 heads. He has no idea what that is. But I do know for a fact that my dad uses a voice assistant quite often. He takes his phone out, he finds the little microphone on his phone, and he says, navigate me to, and it's usually some sort of restaurant he wants to go to. That's my dad using a voice assistant, but he doesn't know it. What Paradise means for him, he could leave that phone in his pocket, double tap his ear and say, navigate me to whatever restaurant it is, and he would get the directions right in his ears as he's driving along in the car. So pretty cool, right? Okay. This was another clip of somebody who was watching a movie. So having 2 Bluetooth connections, you can be watching a movie on an iPad and get a phone call at the same time. The movie is going to pause. You can double tap your ear, answer the phone call, and when you're done with the phone call, double tap your ear again, and your movie starts. It's a seamless transaction between the 2 devices that you happen to be using. Being able to connect to 2 Bluetooth devices is huge. And with Phonak, we're actually made for all. We're the only company that is made for all. And what that means is you can have an Android product, you can have an iPhone or an Apple product, you can even have a flip phone, and we're going to be able to connect to your hearing aids and allow you to hear that streamed sound directly into your ears. I used to love it when my patients would say, I bet you can't connect to this, and it was a flip phone. And I would say, I bet you I can, because with Phonak, we're able to do that. We're the only company that can do that. So challenge us, bring your Bluetooth devices. There are 10 billion Bluetooth devices out there that we're able to connect to. Here are some of the things that patients are doing with their hearing aids. And of course, this is a very condensed list, but you can do FaceTime. You can listen through Pandora. You can do Siri, watch Netflix, go on YouTube, and have this streaming quality right into your ears. It's beautiful. How about television? How many out there struggle with TV? Dr. Heiman has that sign behind her that talks about saving marriages. TV was the biggest struggle for my patients when it came to agreeing on the volume of television. We're watching TV quite a bit, especially now with people being quarantined with COVID, right? We're all catching up on our Netflix. We're binge watching series on TV, and we want to make sure that you're hearing well. And so what I used to call my marriage saver when I was in practice was the TV connector. Now, this is an accessory that works well with your Paradise products. You may already have one of these because we've had it for quite a while. It connected to our Marvel products as well. But this is a way that you can adjust the TV to the volume that you prefer, and whoever you're watching with can have the TV at the volume they prefer. It's 2 independent volume controls. And this little device is so fantastic. It's automatic. So when you walk into the room, the hearing aids will automatically pick up that TV connector and allow you to hear the television seamlessly right into your ears. You don't have to do a darn thing. And so it's the marriage saver, because now there doesn't have to be any arguments over the volume of the television. You all can sit and watch TV and enjoy it together. TV is a very social thing, and we want to make sure that you guys are enjoying that together. We don't want it to be a stressor or something that causes problems in the home. So TV connector is a wonderful accessory, and I would recommend it for everybody. That same streamed quality that you get from phone call conversations or music can happen for television too. How about when hearing gets tough? What do? Well, a lot of us find ourselves in situations where we need to hear when it's noisy. And I told you our hearing aids are doing an excellent job of reducing that background noise. But there are limitations to hearing aids. And if you've got a good audiologist, which I know you do, you're going to hear that there are some things that hearing aids just can't do. It doesn't matter if you hand us $17 million. There are limitations to hearing aids. And if you find yourselves in those situations, maybe it's the Thanksgiving dinner, you're at dinner with all of your family, it's just tough. Or you go to that really, really noisy restaurant, and you're really just struggling, and you find that you would much rather just not put yourself in those situations rather than go. We have something to help you. It's called Roger, and Roger has been proven to be absolutely fantastic technology to get you to hear in those most disruptive environments. 31% of patients still report struggling in background noise. 70, that means quite a 69% of you are doing well, but that small percentage, that 31% of you still need and struggle in background noise. And that's what Roger was for. So this is the slide I like to use to show you that the hearing aids do a really good job. But if you get at a certain distance, the hearing aids aren't going to pick up what you're trying to hear. Or if that background noise gets too loud, again, those are the limitations. And if you find yourself in those areas that the hearing aid just can't help, that's where Roger is going to be the accessory that's going to help you. Linda Thibodeau over in Dallas, Texas, did a fantastic research project on the Roger system, and I just absolutely love this. What she did is she put Roger on people with hearing loss and put them in different levels of background noise to see how they do. And what she did is she put them in head-to-head competition with people who had normal hearing. And she wanted to know how well does the people with normal hearing perform in these background noises versus the people who have the Roger system and hearing aids. And what she found is that the people with the hearing aids and Roger performed 10 times better than the people who had normal hearing when this background noise got really difficult for them. I loved that. I would tell my patients, hey, Mr. Smith, do you want to hear 10 times better than your wife when you guys go to that restaurant? You can bet your bottom dollar he wanted to hear better than her, and gloat about it a little bit also. So Roger does a really good job. And the patients who do try Roger, 90% of them recommend it to family and friends. So it's a very good device. It's very popular. Once you get to try it and see what it's all about, you're going to fall in love with it. I would ask Dr. Heiman for a demo of this and let you try it out and see how you do. You're the true judge when it comes to this, whether or not it's beneficial for you, but it's a really wonderful product. I absolutely love putting it on my patients. If you're an old-time user and Roger was introduced in the past, you know, Roger used to make our hearing aids really big and bulky and kind of heavy, but with Paradise and also with Marvel, our previous generation, we were able to get rid of all of that external equipment that was needed for Roger. And now the hearing aids are actually 42% smaller and use a lot less battery, 27% less battery than it did in the past. So if you've tried it way in the past and you want to try it now with our new products, you're going to be pleasantly surprised at what it can do for you. Okay, rechargeability. You know, not having to worry about batteries and changing batteries is wonderful. So Phonak has rechargeable options for you if you don't want to deal with changing a battery. And I know all of you have been in the situation where that battery goes out at the worst possible time. You sit down at church or you sit down to watch your favorite movie, you got your bowl of popcorn, and all of a sudden the battery starts going. So we have rechargeable for you, and you don't need to worry about that. Phonak uses a lithium-ion battery. It's going to last all day for you. So if you just want to use your hearing aids as hearing aids, you're not really into streaming, you're going to get 24 hours out of that battery life. If you are into streaming and you want to hear from your cell phone wirelessly and you want to use that TV connector, you're going to get 16 hours out of that battery before it needs a charge. So it's all day hearing. Just as a little FYI, if you were to fully drain that hearing aid, maybe you forgot to charge it or something, it only takes 3 hours to go from no charge at all the way to 100% again. So it's a quick charging kind of battery. Even if you put it on the charger for 30 minutes while you're getting ready for work, you can get 12 hours out of that battery. So quick charging, very reliable devices. I just absolutely have fallen in love with Rechargeable. When you put them in the case, turns the hearing aids off. When you take them out of the case, the hearing aids pop on. So very easy for you to use, no hassles with changing those batteries. We have different charging options depending on what kind of case you like. We have a mini charger, a bigger charger, and then also we have a power pack option. So the power pack clips onto that middle charger there. For any of you who maybe like to go camping or somewhere where you don't have a power source, you can throw that power pack on there and you'll get 7 days of charge without ever plugging your case in. So it's a good companion to the charger that we currently have. All right. Battery is engineered to last 6 years too. So we get that question quite a lot. Is my battery going to drain and not be as efficient? The battery is engineered to last 6 years before you can start getting some of that where you don't get all day out of that battery. If that's happening, let your audiologist know and she'll contact us and we'll get it taken care of for you. So there is absolutely a piece of Paradise for everybody. 4 hearing aids are available in the Paradise right now. They're all in that behind the ear RIC product. We call that RIC. It means receiver in the ear. And they come in all those different colors that you can see there at the bottom. So we have battery versions and rechargeable versions, whatever you need. So your next steps. Well, you need to have your hearing tested. And I know you guys are already very established patients, and this is probably have already been taken care of for you. But we want to get your hearing tested, make sure everything is good. It hasn't changed. There hasn't been any major changes. If you ever notice a quick or a decrease in your hearing that's, sort of overnight kind of thing, or there's a change, let us know right away. Don't keep that to yourself. Never feel funny about giving Dr. Heiman a call. She will evaluate you and make sure everything's okay. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I know all of you are going to have some questions. So please, let's take a look at some of these questions here.
You got it. So we have a bunch of them. We're going to jump to those in a second. And Dr. Heiman is back as well. They introduced me at the beginning as well. I'm Jim Flanagan. I am the Phonak rep for the area. I want to thank Dr. Hoysak for joining us and doing the presentation and sticking around to help with the Q&A. And also thank Dr. Heiman for inviting us to be here today. I know we kind of talked through a lot of features just from a standpoint of where we are from a sales rep front, from what I've seen over the past month and a half of Paradise being out. I just wanted to share a few experiences. It's been really exciting from the get-go. Our previous product platform, Marvel, was incredibly successful. And once we introduced this new platform with these extra features and extra power in the circuit, I know we started getting messages right away, even one from Dr. Heiman saying, I predict people are gonna wanna come in and hear more about this technology. And that's really held true. And so I think one of the big keys that we wanna reiterate is definitely coming in and experiencing the sound quality of Paradise and having that free demonstration where you can wear them, such a big key. Just to follow up on a few of the points that Dr. Hoysak certainly mentioned, some of the things I've found are that speech enhancer has just been absolutely incredible. Exactly what you said, Dr. Hoysak, for not only those patients who struggle with people with soft voices or maybe a particular voice, but now that I wear my demos and everyone's wearing masks, it's provided me just a huge benefit. In those situations, because not only are people muffled, but we also lose those visual cues of being able to see someone's lips while they talk. So that's been a huge benefit. One of the things patients tell me all the time is our new dynamic noise canceller really helps them pinpoint environments. Like if you're in a restaurant, through that MyPhonak app, you can make some very specific changes and really set that sound exactly where you're comfortable. I know every time I go in to help with the patient, they have a comment that they want something to be a little bit better, but they can't always quite tell me exactly what they want that to be. Well, now through that MyPhonak app, you have the ability to make those adjustments on your own. And then the next time you come in, you can show Dr. Heiman what you've done. And that way we can mimic those changes to really help fine tune your hearing. The other things I think I want to just mention really quickly before we get into those questions, those tap controls and motion sensors have really gone a long way to making this not just a hearing aid that answers the phone, but really like a full communication system. It's funny because a few years ago, your hearing aid and whatever you listen to your music from were completely separate. And then very quickly it became that we created a hearing aid that could work with any phone and all sorts of other Bluetooth devices to answer that phone call. And very quickly we said, okay, that's fine, but how do we have a hearing aid that also really involves your whole communication system, where you can just tap on your ear and say, hey Siri, call Dr. Heiman's office. And that way you can go ahead and not even have to take your phone out of your pocket, just have it within 30 feet of you and really have that full communication while still getting that specific amplification that you need. But all of the connectivity and things we speak about wouldn't really matter. So I said Siri and my phone went crazy. All that connectivity we were talking about wouldn't really matter if at its core it weren't an amazing hearing aid that does all the automatic adjusting you need to help you situation by situation without you having to make manual programs and make all sorts of changes. It's all going to be done behind the scenes for you. The point of these hearing aids is to be as seamless as possible while giving you the best benefit in every single situation. And we're all going to sit here and tell you how great it is all day long, but I think really the best thing, again, we'll answer all the questions, but scheduling that demo and experiencing it for yourself is really one of the benefits of working with a great clinic like Advanced Audiology Consultants.
So Lance was wondering about protecting your private information. Can you speak to that? That's a really good question, Lance.
It's a really great question, Lance, and thanks for asking it. No hearing aids are transmitted specifically, or excuse me, no data is transmitted specifically from the hearing aids to Phonak. There are two ways we do accept transmissions. Providers, when they can choose to share data with us, and that data does not include patient name information or specifics to an individual fitting. But one of the things we do to make sure that we're as current as possible is we do look at what's called big data. And that means an aggregate of people who send us maybe a total of 50,000 fittings. And what are providers doing? What changes are providers making? So we can really fine tune the sound quality, we can fine tune the performance and where we start that sound quality. So we don't have to make any changes as many changes out of the box by making the adjustments that you tell providers you need. That being said, we're not looking at anything specific about an individual, and we don't have any of your patient data. The only other way data is transmitted is through the app, and it's a very similar process. It's all large data where we don't get any patient name information. We don't have any other data off of your phone or anything else. We just know if someone's going in, if everyone was going in and turning up their volume considerably in a certain frequency through the app, we have access to that information as a conglomerate to know that that's something we need to look at moving forward. We also do have some paperwork on this, so if you're interested in seeing further, I can certainly get you something written as well. Feel free to reach out to Dr. Heiman separately and we can get that for
you. Paul was wondering regarding the connectivity to the TV. Mm-hmm. Will the TV connector mute his wife? I don't think it's but I think it's a serious question.
It is a serious question. I like to make light of it though, because I had that question all the time, and I used to tell my husbands, "I'm a female. I'm going to side with your wife." But no, what it does is whenever you're streaming, this could be from your television or your cell phone, the microphones on your hearing aid are going to reduce. And that's so that you can focus on that stream quality. Now, we're not taking it all away because we want you to have environmental awareness. Now, the nice thing is you have control of that right from your hearing aids. So if you want to hear your wife more and the streaming less, you can hit the volume down button. And vice versa, if you want to hear the streaming more than your wife, you can turn the volume up. That's called environmental balance. And we have that available for you right at the touch of your hearing aids. You can also do the same thing on your MyPhonak app. You can make it one way or the other, hearing more of your environment or less of your environment. And the third way is to tell Dr. Heiman, and she can make some adjustments within the software so you don't have to make those changes. So we're not going to get rid of your wife fully, but we are going to turn her down just a little bit. Great question. I get it a lot.
Yeah, if someone was on the Belong platform and they're wearing the Compilot and the buttons on the Compilot, can it do the same thing?
Yes, same function.
Same function. Okay, great question. Great answer. Thank you. Frank was wondering about the movement and the tap sensitivity, and I think there were a couple other questions regarding the tap sensitivity. Can they shut it off and on their app? Can we make it so that if you move your head, because I know it's movement control, not so much tap control, can we change that?
Yeah.
Is Phonak working on that? I guess that's my question to add to it.
Yep, so tap control is not a movement of your head. It is a deliberate tap. It's a double tap. We call it a purposeful double tap. If your tap control is moving because you're moving your head, we need to know about it because that should not be happening. Please let us know and talk to us about it. We're going to make sure that that gets fixed up for you.
Absolutely.
It is a feature that can be as large or as small as you want. If you just want to have tap control to answer the phone call, that's what we can make it. It doesn't have to be streaming. It doesn't have to be a voice assistant. You can put as many of those on as you want. Dr. Heiman can do that through her software, give you access or take access away. And you can also make that change in your MyPhonak app. If you go to the menu bar, we lovingly refer to that as the hamburger menu. Go to the hamburger menu. One of those options is My Hearing Aids. Click on that and you'll be able to either give yourself access to tap control features or take them away, whichever you prefer to do.
Great point. And I will also make sure, Frank, that we get you those instructions on exactly where you can go to make those changes. While we're talking tap controls, I think Rob had a question earlier on about the tap controls only working with rechargeable. Is that true? And if so, why? I just want to say real quick, yes, they are only available in the rechargeable, Rob, and that's for two main reasons. One, we need the voltage of a rechargeable battery to be able to control something that's this extensive. Motion sensors are a very power-driven technology, and just the tiny lithium or the tiny regular batteries just don't have the power to be able to handle that regularly. So we need a lithium-ion battery for it. The other piece of that is some of the space in the hearing aid where the battery and the battery door used to go are where those motion sensors are located. That's where we house them. So because of those two features, or because of those two reasons, only the rechargeable options offer the tap controls on your hearing aids. Very, very good question. Since I'm talking rechargeable batteries, I think there was another one from Paul right there along those lines, a little bit further up in the chat. How long does the rechargeable battery last between charges? Our recommendation is to charge it every single day. One of the amazing things about Paradise products is there are 5 unique wireless protocols in every Paradise hearing aid. So it's very hard to give an exact number. Frank, Paul, it really depends on how you're streaming. So what we say is you should get about 24 hours if you were doing 0 streaming at all. You should get about a 16-hour day if you're doing 8 hours of normal hearing aid wear, 4 hours of Bluetooth connectivity, and 4 hours of TV connector with our 4 hours of TV watching, with our TV connector. So really, as a use case scenario, the design of this is to be able to give you a full day of use, pop them in the charger at night, and when you take them out in the morning, you have a full day ready to go again.
I just saw a question pop in from Rob. He asks, the battery versions don't have motion sensor at all, ? That is correct. So not only do you lose tap control, but you also lose motion sensor hearing as well. So you are correct with that question, Rob. The battery version does not have any of the capabilities that come with that motion sensor chip.
Default custom setting for the hearing aid without having to set it every day in the morning to her desired setting. So I think she's talking about she goes into the app, she makes her own custom, and then was wondering, can she move that up to being her default automatic program whenever she turns on the hearing aids?
So she cannot do that through the app. The app is always built on the platform of your audiologist. So anytime your hearing aid is turned on or off or put in the charger or you open that battery door, it will always default back to Dr. Heiman's settings. And we do that so that your sound quality is the way it should be. Your custom programs are for you to use in custom situations. Now, if there is a custom setting that you really love, Dr. Heiman would be able to mimic that in the software and make your hearing aids start up in that program if that's something that you desire. But that would be a good conversation to have with Dr. Heiman.
So
and it's a great question.
Before I forget, and to let you all know, if you have on your app a custom program and you love it, tell me about that before we connect to the software. So I can look at it and I can make note of what you've done, because once I connect you, we lose that program. It's gone. So make sure, Taya, you tell me before, and I will look at that, and then I can make your universal, all of your programs based on the way you like it like that, okay?
You got it. And just to follow up on that, exactly what Dr. Hoysek and Dr. Heiman were saying, one of the main reasons why our automatic program is going to remain the startup is because it has 8 different programs underneath it. So Dorothea, what we'd prefer is to be able to take those changes you're making and make them part of our default program, what we call our auto sense. And that way you get those settings that you prefer, but you get them tweaked for whatever environment you're in. It's going to provide you much more comfort overall, but really based on those settings that you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
The app on his iPhone, can he connect the iPad via Bluetooth?
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
Two Bluetooth devices. Yep.
And you would just connect that through your settings and then Bluetooth. Frank, if I could give you 2 pieces of advice that I've just learned over the past couple of weeks from trial and error, I would turn off the Bluetooth on your phone first, just so there isn't a competing signal while you're trying to pair. And then when you go into the Bluetooth settings on your phone, turn off and on your hearing aids. So if they're rechargeable, put them in the charger and then take them back out. And that's what makes them discoverable via Bluetooth. But again, I would just make sure to temporarily swipe down on your phone and turn off the Bluetooth on your phone first, so we're not having 2 competing devices trying to pick up the Bluetooth from your hearing aids at the same time you're trying to pair.
The iPad and then go to the app and bring up both, or is he just going to use the app on the iPad because he won't be answering phone calls?
It's whatever you prefer. So you can still stream through the app or through the iPad as well. So it's a really good question. While you won't be answering phone calls, you can still pair through the Bluetooth settings to if you're watching Netflix or doing meetings or anything on that iPad or music. So you can stream all of that through the iPad, even though you're not answering phone calls. Good question.
Okay, so just to be clear, when you have these hearing aids and you compare to any device, when you go to your Bluetooth settings and you put your hearing aids in Discover mode, but let's say putting them in the charger and taking them out, you're actually only going to take the right one out of the charger, let it go in Discover mode, go to your Bluetooth, and pair to that right. And why? Because everything's going to stream to, sorry, my camera's backwards, but you're going to stream to the right ear, and it's going to then stream to the left ear. And this is why these hearing aids don't have connectivity issues where things are being dropped between the right and left ear, because it actually streams through the right ear and over to the left. So you're going to pair just the right one, then put them in the charger again, pull up the app, then pull them both out together to go to your app. And if you have questions or bring the iPad to me, I will help you with it. Okay?
Good.
But yes. I know there's some really tech savvy people on here that are probably doing it while I'm talking right now.
Absolutely.
And when it sends that signal over, it's all seamless. There's no delay. You're not hearing a delay. It's all coming in basically to both ears at the same time.
I think I see another one from Dorothea a little bit further up on the streaming settings. What does the streaming setting have in it? I noticed streaming doesn't have much settings to change. For example, I want to listen to music and don't want any noise canceling or voice recognition, but to get every sound coming from my Spotify. So that's a fantastic question. And on Dr. Heiman's side, all of that is there. By default, we're going to make the sound more open, as we call it. We're going to use less compression, so you're getting the sound much more naturally. We want to treat music much differently than we treat speech. With music, you want everything full and loud, exactly as you're saying, Dorothea. But with speech, you're already hearing some of that loud enough. So we want to make sure we're making it comfortable for your loss. So behind the scenes, all of that is done on Dr. Heiman's end, and you can do some fine tuning to the programs from your end. Great question.
Yeah. And I'd like to point out here too, that Phonak is the only company that classifies those 2 stream signals. Your hearing aids are smart enough. The Phonak hearing aids are smart enough to recognize when you're streaming a voice versus when you're streaming music. And it will automatically treat those 2 signals differently because, as Jim mentioned, those are 2 very different signals. We don't want to modify your music signal. We want that to come in pure and natural, and your voice signals are going to be a little bit different. So Phonak does a fantastic job when it comes to streaming in the settings for those sounds.
I also, Dr. Heiman, I've never seen a group ask this great of questions before.
I know.
You know, I have to say, in the western suburbs of Chicago, we have like the smartest people in the world. Oh, and up in northern, we don't want to say that the Glenview folks aren't awesome, because you are. But okay, Paul is a really good question. Is there a cross-by-cross system available in this system?
Not at this time.
Right.
And while this is a recorded listening, that is all I can possibly say. But I would hope that at some point that would change. But at this point, we have just introduced the Paradise line with just the standard receiver and the Canal products. And then in the normal Phonak cadence, over the next year or so, we start to introduce other products into the line. So keep an eye out. Fingers are crossed, but not at this time.
Paul, we're all praying with you, and our fingers are crossed. We want the system as much as you do.
But so the cross isn't available, but the Roger mic could be connected to just the one ear.
Absolutely.
Zoom. Yeah. Okay. Frank okay, let's just reiterate, but this is related to what we talked to before. Frank was wondering, can he turn the tap control on and off by himself?
Yes. Through the MyPhonak app.
And he does it, yes. So Frank, you do it through the app. I didn't know this morning, I'm sorry. And so this is why we do this, all learning together. This is so new and so cool, and nobody has this stuff. So that's why it's like pretty stellar that we have the experts here. So yeah, go into, I wrote it down. So you're gonna go to your MyPhonak app, go to My Hearing Aids on the hamburger menu, folks. Okay, so I learned this. So when it has 3 lines, it is like a hamburger. You have a bun, and you've got your burger in the middle, right? So that's a hamburger menu. You click that, and on your phone, it populates. And then you go to My Hearing Aids, and then give access to the phone features there. Which features you want that on or off, right? Because there are several.
There's 3 of them.
Okay, and or I can do it in the software permanently, but it's nice that you have control on your app.
That would also be something that can be done remotely if you chose to do a remote session, which I totally forgot to talk about during the presentation.
Okay, go for it. What's the remote session?
So within your MyPhonak app, not only can you customize your hearing aids, but you also have the ability to remotely connect to Dr. Heiman. That means you don't have to even leave the comfort of your home, and you can connect to her through your app, and she can make changes to your hearing aids as if you were sitting right in her office with her. How nice to not have to travel out if the weather's yucky, if COVID ramps up again, or if you just don't feel like getting dressed in the morning. You could wear your robe and still be able to have access to Dr. Heiman. You guys don't have to wear your face masks. How nice to be able to see somebody face to face for once. And she can make adjustments to your hearing aids. And tap control is one of those things she could do.
And full disclosure, I've never done it. So if any of you want to be the guinea pig and you want to practice with me, let's do it. Let's practice and figure it out. And
I had done remote support with my patients quite a bit before I became a Phonak trainer. And this was before COVID was a thing. And let me tell you, some of the things I did were so cool. I adjusted somebody's hearing aids while they were in the car. Their wife was driving. He reported to me he wanted to hear better in the car. So those two went for a drive. And I was adjusting his hearing aids while he was in the car to get him to hear his wife better. It was fantastic.
How cool is that?
It was cool. And never had that done before, but it was a lot of fun. And I fell in love with remote support, and so did a lot of my patients. So I would say definitely give it a shot.
I love that. Thank you. That's a great idea. Okay,
Yep.
Cindy has a really good question. She has, she has an Apple Watch. Can she connect to that?
Yes. So the Apple Watch is a little tough. So the Apple Watch you can stream your music from, but for some darn reason, we cannot get the phone calls to work through the Apple Watch right now. I'm sure it's something they're working on, but other than phone calls, you can stream from your Apple Watch. And maybe Jim knows more. I'm not an Apple girl, you guys. I'm an Android girl, so I have a hard time answering Apple questions.
Well, you're in the right place because we have the only hearing aids that work with a plethora of Androids, Apple, and whatever else people have. So you're good there. I will say that Apple Watch phone call issue is pretty common via Bluetooth. And I know it's something that as Apple vendors, we all constantly work on, but you can stream everything but phone calls. Very good question.
This is Frank again. Thank you, Frank. You have such great questions. All of you have such good questions. Can the TV connector be moved from one room to another, 2 rooms, 2 TVs?
Yes. You can actually get 2 TV connectors, and your hearing aids will seamlessly work from room to room, and you don't have to move your TV connector. But if you wanted to unplug it and move it, you certainly could.
The only time, just to counteract, because I live in a very small condo, so I can't have 2 TV connectors. So the only time, because they have such a robust range, You know, if the two TVs are very close together on the same floor, things like that, you may be better off moving it from one to the other. But anything with an auxiliary jack, that TV adapter can plug into. So multiple TVs, stereo receivers. I've had people connected to the computers if they just want to listen to something and they're not looking for a microphone to talk back through. So anything with an auxiliary or optical jack, you can plug the TV connector into.
Awesome. So we're almost done. We're coming up on time, but Frank has noticed that the devices do compete. For example, he can be streaming a phone call through the iPhone. If he gets into his car, the streaming will automatically switch over to Bluetooth. Can I answer that one? So Frank, there's a hierarchy in Bluetooth. So whoever was first paired to your phone will always be first. If the hearing aids were paired to your phone after you paired your car to your phone, when you're streaming in your hearing aids walking along, then you get in your car and you turn on the car, the Bluetooth says, hey, the car goes, I was here first, and it flips over. So if you want the hearing aids to always take precedence, you're going to want to disconnect, cancel the Bluetooth connection with your car, make sure your hearing aids are the first thing that's paired, and then add in the car secondary. But that's a Bluetooth rule, not necessarily the hearing aids.
Right. Yep.
That's a really great answer.
Okay, so
you answer things so well. I've learned from you myself today.
Oh, cool. Cindy, Dorothea said that she pauses music via her Apple Watch while she's wearing the Paradise hearing aids. So Thank you for that. So it works as a remote control to help you use it without doing things. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you for the participation. Thank you for the awesome questions. Thank you to our leaders from Phonak that came and gave us the insider's view. I know for a fact, we are the only practice in the nation that has done this so far. You guys are so special that you got these experts here with us today, and I really appreciate your time, everyone. Thank you for everything. If anyone has further questions or you want to ask them directly, email me and I will forward them to Jim and to Dr. Hoysak, and we will get them answered for you. And like we said, we have hearing aids for you guys to try if you wanted to. And you know, our office is unique also. We don't just give you an hour trial, we let you take them home. Okay, so I'm gonna run. I have patients today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.